Thank you very much, and again, congratulations to our new chair, Representative Buddy Carter. And also thank you to our witnesses for testifying to the committee today. Like the past Republican who spoke, Representative Pfluger, I too was on the Homeland Security Committee last term, and so carry that over with me as we look towards both high-quality water, the staffing that's needed to be able to perform those functions, and then also the cybersecurity, which is a national security as well as a water quality issue. Mr. Jeffers, your testimony talks about the need for rural water systems to receive help on technical assistance on how to implement the best cyber protections. And coming from a agricultural state with a lot of rural areas and rural water in my district, I think it's important that which system is going to work best and what's a better model to reach solutions, compliance enforcement or technical assistance.
It's definitely technical assistance, getting the people, rural water, whoever the third party is, to come out, train operators. You know, and I've said it earlier, it's always better when an operator is talking to an operator, so let's train a good operator in cybersecurity and let him be the one that goes out and rides the states. You know, I think each state's gonna need 2 people tied directly to just cybersecurity that are out training, teaching. I always like to use the word coach. Sometimes you gotta coach them along. And I think that's the answer.
That's what the people in Iowa tell me as well, too. What's the best way to maximize the use of technical assistance for cybersecurity for rural systems? You can get back with us on that.
We will.
Okay. The EPA is planning to use a one-size-fits-all regulation for lead, copper, and certain PFAS in water systems. And Mr. Jeffers, you made the point that each water system is unique. Can you explain why cybersecurity solutions need to be scalable, sizable, and affordable?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, affordability is the key. You know, a $5,000 bill from a little system is a lot of money. And so, and we talked about the vulnerability assessments. You know, City of Atlanta, that vulnerability assessment may be 100 pages long. You get down around some of these little small towns in South Georgia, you could probably come up with a 10-point checklist that would take care of all their cybersecurity needs. So that's the way, that's just the difference in the big systems and the little systems. But, you know, technical assistance is going to be the key for the big ones and the small ones. People out training, teaching us how this works. Earlier I mentioned, you know, the average age of an operator is about 58 years old. And we're all leaving here in about 7, 8 years, and I don't know who's going to take our place. So we got a lot of work to do.
I hear that in Iowa also. And you may have answered this question, but with a limited budget, how do you prioritize compliance with these issues?
With the cybersecurity, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of them they're not hooked to the internet, so they're not a concern now. But as technology grows, that day's going to change. And so it's going to be financially, and it's going to be training, technical assistance. Those are the ways we're going to make this work.
And then I'm going to direct this question to all of our witnesses, and if you can be brief in your answers because I'm running out of time. Given the EPA's challenges in rolling out guidance to address cybersecurity in water systems, it's clear that a new approach is needed to improve resilience without imposing new costly mandates on water authorities. What role does private cybersecurity industry play in provide real-time cyber risk monitoring systems?
So the question was, what role do private cyber companies play? Mm-hmm. Well, they can play a good role. I think that, you know, they can do some assessments. They can help do some training. I would suggest that state agencies' role in working with third parties is to make sure that the third parties are qualified third parties. And we look to our Kansas Information Security Office when somebody has had a third party vendor do an assessment to make sure that that vendor was an approved, knowledgeable vendor. There are, as with any case, when there's a hot topic out there, people come out of the woodwork to provide services, and so we want to make sure that the services are being provided by qualified people.
Thank you, Dr. Vogel. Mr. Dewhurst, quickly.
I think that's an excellent point. I do believe, too, that you know, we need to take advantage of all the knowledge in this space. I don't think we could just put ourselves in a vacuum and think we all have it figured out. So I would invite, you know, others to come to the table to provide insight.
Thank you. Mr. Jeffers?
Excuse me. There's certain vendors and there's certain equipment that you buy that has its own built-in, ties into the internet, and I mentioned in my testimony, we need to make sure they are looked at, their guidelines, that they're meeting the guidelines, somebody is monitoring them who's selling this type of equipment that needs the internet to run.
And Dr. Morley?
Yeah, I would just add on that the system integrators that are involved in supporting systems, especially smaller systems that don't have in-house capability, really need to have a standard of care from a professional ethics perspective is something to consider. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. I yield back my time.